It's your boy AD back with a video. Now into this video coming with Rimuru went to One Piece Part 3 Season 2. So yes, I hope you guys will enjoy this, and yes, before we start the video, I would like to warn you guys that this video is a bit short. In fact, it's only like 5 minutes. The reason being that this chapter was more short than the last previous one I've been doing, due to the fact that I did skip a lot of the story, basically not the actual important stuff per se, just basically the Sabo arc where he goes to his parents' house and whatnot and so on. I basically skipped like basically that whole thing until he goes back to like when the kingdom is burning down and whatnot. So this is a bit on the shorter end of things, since I did again skip a lot of these things because they're basically just kind of stuff, and I didn't want to just copy and paste like the whole thing, because that would be basically just like it would take at least 2 to 3 parts to do it, and they would be like really long basically. So I didn't want to do that. So yes, for those of you who haven't seen it, well, you might just want like, I don't know, watch a video about it or something like that. And for those of you who have, then just fill in the gap basically. Anyways, for further ado, hope you guys enjoy. And yeah, the next part will be much longer as a apology for making this one so short basically. But yeah, anyways, for further ado, let's get the video started.
The brother meeting dragon. Luffy, Sabo and Ace had been getting along as usual, with Rimuru coming in and training them and going away on trips before coming back and doing it all over again. That was all until one day when Rimuru would go on a trip as usual, however unknown to them. This was also the same day that a celestial dragon would come to visit Goa Kingdom, which was on this island, which caused the royalty of the kingdom to panic, as the celestial dragons were seen as gods, as their ancestors were the kings of the 20 kingdoms which allied together to form the world government. As Rimuru left, saying he would come back with gifts for them, and not just for Aces like last time when he had come back, he brought him a hat which he had worn ever since. So what do we do while we wait for her to come back? Right, double quotation mark. Fire. There was fire everywhere. It had been so sudden. After finding out about Sabo being the son of a noble, his family had tried to get him back, hiring some mercenary, but as the kids were trained properly, they were able to beat them using haki, as they had learned it much than most people would and were quite good at it as well. But before they could completely go home, they were forced to take a longer route due to the nobles setting all the trash on fire, burning away the trash and the homeless people who lived in it. But thankfully a ship came which was part of the fairly newly made revolutionary army and saved as many people as they could, but many still died. After those unfortunate incidents, another thing happened which would lead to many great changes later on. Rather it is good or bad is up for debate. A small 13-year-old boy had stolen a fishing boat, using it to set sail with the hope of becoming a great pirate. However, unknowing to him, not far from him was a giant ship which belonged to Saint Jamak, the celestial dragon, which was coming to visit the kingdom. Saint Jamak, sir, there seems to be a small boat coming towards us. What shall we do? Said one of the marine soldiers who came to him saluting. The celestial dragon sounded very annoyed as he lifted his out-of-shape body, barely managing to stand. Seems I have to do everything here. I'll handle it. Pulling out a flintlock cannon which was the size of a pistol, he shot the ship twice. On the ship as Sabo sailed away, happy to finally be free, but his freedom was short-lived, as before he could react he saw himself getting shot. Realizing that was his observation haki warning him, he instantly turned around to see the bullet-sized cannonball heading straight for him, and knowing he would not be able to dodge it, he did the only other option he had. He used all the armament haki that he could, covering the point of impact, which had worked and stopped it. But unfortunately for him, the cannon exploded, destroying some of the ship and hurting him before the whole ship was destroyed, when the second cannon crashed into it, breaking it into pieces. On the side of the island on a small beach, a man wearing a cloak with a fairly normal face yet looked somewhat like Luffy, with the black hair under the hood. The most outstanding things on this man was his eyes, who looked hard and focused, and to the left side of his face was some weird markings spreading across it. However, as simple as this man seemed, he was in fact the world's worst criminal, greatly wanted for his actions as the leader, as the revolutionary army leader, amongst other things. The man stood as he watched the event that unfolded in front of him with no little amount of disgust. Seconds later, clouds seemed to gather over the whole area and a powerful gust of wind with rain followed, pushing the body of the boy towards him, and in the end a bolt of lightning came down, striking the ship of the celestial dragon. As soon as the man was reaching down, still being angered, he was still angry at the situation and caused him to let out some of his killing intent. It was not meant to be towards the child, however this was not known to a certain pair of golden eyes that seemed to pierce the soul itself. Rimuru had just went on a trip, but when he arrived to his destination, which was where his old student Buggy was staying, there they met and he was given some information about a certain celestial dragon going to Goa Kingdom, and so knowing that they could cause trouble, he went on to head back to Dawn Island to make sure things would go well. Rimuru went back Dawn Island after quickly making sure Luffy and Ace were okay. He had found them in the middle of the fire with the bandits, with Dandan's leg being burnt. Using his teleportation abilities, he teleported them all back to safety and healed them before telling them that he would go look for Sabo. As he floated up around the island, he saw something which made him pissed. As he was about to attack the ship of the celestial dragon, he stopped when he saw the man reaching for Sabo's body, and so he was forced to go there, dashing towards the man. As he arrived quietly, he then felt it there was intent to kill in the air. He felt that it was not particularly aimed at Sabo, but it was still enough to worry him. What do you think you are doing exactly, Mr. Monkey D. Dragon, or should I say D. Dragon? Right, double quotation mark. I planned to take him under my wings to help him grow and get stronger. Right, double quotation mark. Is that so? Right, double quotation mark. Noticed it would appear that he is not lying. Hearing this, Rimuru stopped releasing his demon lord's haki and walked to him. How do you know about me? Dragon asked, narrowing his eyes. I have my ways. Right, double quotation mark. After a long talk they came to an agreement, and Rimuru let him take Sabo under the argument to say that he is dead, to fake his death and not attract unnecessary attraction for now. Before leaving, Rimuru splashed Sabo with a full healing potion, healing him before he went away. Rimuru Tempest, you are a rather interesting being. I wonder what changes will come to the world with you here, Mr. Demon Lord. Right, double quotation mark. End of chapter 8. Very short chapter. I didn't really want to go into too much detail cause it would be too much of a long arc for one chapter and would just be a copy and paste from the original, and so that lead to this. Sorry for it. I'll try to make the next one a bit longer. 1. How does Dragon know of Rimuru being a demon lord without him telling him? 2. What has Buggy been up to? 3. What will happen to Sabo? 4. Will Rimuru tell the others that Sabo is alive and what is happening? 5. What did Rimuru call Dragon, and who is Dragon truly?